Welcome back to It's a Mimic, where you never know what you're going to get. Today, we're sitting down with another 20-ish mailbag questions that you, the listeners, have sent in and that we, the hosts, have to answer. I'm Adam, and with me today are Megan and Dave.
Hi!
Hey, hello.
So the way that this episode is going to work is that we're sitting down with a list that have been randomly sorted from the monstrous amounts of questions that you've all sent in. And we're going to roll initiative. That's going to determine which of us has to read out the questions in what order. Remember that everyone has to answer each question, but whoever reads it out loud has to answer it first.
And yes, we have to address every question.
Yay, so let's roll initiative.
Sure. I got a 17.
I was a 2, then an 18, and then a 2 again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All
Critical
right.
fail!
Yes, all right.
Story of my life.
All right, well, I'll start then. So Tarzan of the Deserts asks, who is your favorite Doctor Who actress or actor? I have never watched Doctor Who.
That surprises me because I know your dad's a nerd.
Yeah, I think it was just like past his time and then before my time, and then there was too much to catch up on by the time I learned it was a thing. And I was in my vampire goth phase at that time, so Doctor Who just did not appeal to me in any way, shape, or form. So I don't have a favorite.
Oh, I was next.
Yeah, you're number 2. Yeah, sorry, I critically failed.
Right, yes, that's right.
Does that mean I don't have to go at all?
No, that means you have to go twice, yeah.
Shit.
I absolutely fucking love David Tennant and everything he does, and he can do no wrong, and he is an amazing human being, and I hope that this doesn't come back and bite me in the ass. Like every celebrity you've ever loved is now a creep, according to the internet. So,
yeah.
But David Tennant seems to be above all that shit. I love him and everything, and his final moments as the 10th Doctor are one of my top 10 fucking television episodes of all time. And now that I've said that, Christopher Eccleston is better. I just fucking love that he ran around with PTSD and refused to get into fights with anybody.
Yeah, see, famous people's names, you say them out loud, I'm like, that's a name. I do not know.
Well, if you don't know Doctor Who and you're not big on, like, British shows, you're certainly not going to know him from Thor: The Dark World, where he was caked in makeup and didn't do anything.
Fair.
But Christopher Eccleston is the best part of The Leftovers. And his first episode that focused on him was top 10 episodes of television. Fuck. Anyways.
Sorry, Doctor Who? I've never watched a single episode.
Oh.
The only one I'm familiar with is David Tennant.
Yeah.
Just through my pop culturings. And he was great in other stuff I've seen him in, so I guess. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I can't help you on that one, so thanks, Adam, for filling in the hole on that one.
I think there are only about 4 or 5 of us on all of It's a Mimic that has ever watched any significant amount of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And a lot of us bailed out around Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, which is not...
Oh, yeah, Matt Smith. I'm familiar with him, too.
It's not an indictment on either of them. It's just Doctor Who has such a fucking weird schedule. There is strange continuity issues that you got to deal with. There's such a long history that, like, sometimes they'll do a thing and you're like, I know I'm supposed to get it, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, season 9 was a jumping on point for people, which is where I followed. And then, like, season 12 will be a new jumping on point. I don't need to reboot. But I feel like I should go back because I like Peter Capaldi. And then the 13th Doctor was a lady doctor. And the internet was enraged, so you know it must have been good.
We hate lady doctors.
Right? So
How strange that the world hates women.
Yes, how strange.
How strange. Anyways, moving on. Zan asks, how many words can you read a minute?
I haven't tested this.
I've never tested that before. And I'm going to say, admittedly, I am super slow at reading. I will send a book to Elwyn and be like, I just read this. It's super great. There's a series. Let's read this together. And then she will read all 6 of them in 2 days. And I'm still halfway through maybe the paragraph of the second one. And that's just like how much time I have to read is very minimal. But when I do sit down to read, it's very slow. And I think it's just because my comprehension is very low. I think that I was just one of those undiagnosed kids that just doesn't have really good reading comprehension. So it takes me a long time to understand a paragraph.
I mean, that's fair. Everybody reads at their own rate. And just because you don't read quickly doesn't mean you don't enjoy reading, right? Like,
it's true. I read a lot.
Yeah. It's the same paragraph, but
over
it's a lot.
and over again.
I read relatively quickly. And I read a lot. I don't read for fun anymore, which drives me nuts. I read for work. And by the time the work is done, I don't want to read anymore. My dad always said that when I was growing up. I'm like, Dad, you got to read this book. And he's like, I read all day at work. Reading is not what's fun for me. I just want to sit in front of the TV and turn that part of my brain off. And I never got it until I'm in the job that I'm in now. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I fucking get it now. I also want to walk away and not read stuff. And if I do read, it has to be a book. But at this point, I read in a regular novel, I'll blow through a page in a minute. It'll take me 6 hours to polish off a 350-page book if I sit down and am dedicated and not distracted. However, in the land of the It's a Mimic Discord channel and scheduling people and a long-distance relationship, there is no such thing as an uninterrupted section of 6 hours of my life.
Correct, yeah.
So I often, I've at this point actually started exploring audiobooks. I legitimately hate them.
I also hate audiobooks.
I can't do it.
I can't do it either.
Yeah.
It's my comprehension for an audiobook is worse than when I'm reading.
My problem is because I do it. I've started exercising. So when I'm on my exercise bike, which I really love, I put on an audiobook. And the problem is, it's this high intense fucking like scene of they just did the book I'm reading. It's science fiction. So like there's a spaceship starts venting a bunch of shit out of an atmosphere. People end up outside in suits that are failing. They got to get inside. High intensity, and it's read in the tone of. And as the oxygen was leaving her system. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I love it when it ruins the moment.
Just fucking ramp it up. And I know it's supposed to be a neutral voice and you're supposed to put your own flavor on top of it, but I can't do it.
You can get audiobooks that have like the voices and stuff to them, but like it's hard to find ones that are actually good. Otherwise you get like weird voices. Random tandem story in terms of audiobooks. Roman has experienced his first smut novel in audiobook formation. Started off as like a cool little sci-fi that he was reading, and it's now turned into what is clearly a smut novel because he's explaining to me what's happening. I'm like, oh, that isn't enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
Tell me more. So he experienced his first drive to work listening to a sex scene. And he's like, you guys live like this? And I said, constantly.
I couldn't fucking do that. I couldn't do that.
For me, it really depends on what I'm reading and how I'm engaged in it. If I want it to be done and over with, I can speed read the shit out of something. If I'm going through a D&D book trying to find information, I can scan through a page and read that in no time.
Yeah.
If I am reading Lovecraft, I need to slow down and really understand.
You did audiobooks for Lovecraft too, didn't you?
Yes, I had to give that up because I wasn't paying as much attention to everything as I should have been. Because I figured out, I think I was listening to like Shadow over Innsmouth or something like that. And it took me a while. I couldn't figure out what was going on in the story. I was completely lost and confused. And I was on a long drive. I was out driving for a couple hours, but like I got really confused and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And so I looked at my phone and realized it was on shuffle. So it was like different chapters. All right.
That sounds like an audiobook nightmare.
Yeah, it was not great. So I never finished that one. I have no idea where it went off the rails, right? I didn't go back. It's like, wait a minute, how come they're running through the street? Weren't they just over here? Hold on a second. And like I'm driving, right? Like I can't stop and figure. So I mean, that was
that's excellent.
That was wonderful. But no, I mean, I'll end up. I have ADD brain. I will read the same thing 40 times and it won't sink in because I'm thinking about sports or something, right?
Yeah, I'm singing a song in my head at the same time.
But at the same time, if I am laser focused, I can finish a novel in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's fair. All right, next, Tarzan of the Desert asks, favorite space sitcom or space opera, such as Star Trek, Star Wars, Firefly, Babylon 5, Farscape, The Expanse, Stargate, Battlestar Galactica, or Orville. I wasn't big on sci-fi growing up. We know this about me at this point. But the one that I watched that I will rewatch again and again is the newer version of Battlestar Galactica. So not the original, where, Starbuck is a dude.
No.
The new one where Starbuck is a very lovely lady.
Now, very lovely is an interesting turn of phrase on that.
I find, there's an image picture of her, and if you put her face beside my face, sometimes I'm like, oh my god, it's kind of my doppelganger.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
From a certain light, yes.
Yeah, to the point where I think I mentioned it before in the podcast, Dad used to call me Starbuck because of that. But it was one of those ones that I watched with my dad, and I really liked it. I watched Firefly, I cried, loved it, would watch it again, but I'm sad that it was canceled. I got caught up in the wave of everybody hating that it just got destroyed. But Battlestar Galactica will always be in my soft spot.
You never watched Battlestar Galactica, hey Dave?
Never ever.
It's soap opera in space.
It is, but it's also a military soap opera in space. There's a lot of military and political aspects to it as well. I think you would fucking like it.
He's trying to put the Dave spin on it.
No, but really, the first episode
there.
the first episode is called 33 Minutes because every time that they, and like this is my fucking deep lord nonsense, every time that they do a fast and light jump, which I forget what they call it in Battlestar Galactica.
I'll think about it. It'll come to me in like 10 minutes.
But every time they do that, they're getting hunted by the enemy. And they have 33 minutes before they have to jump again. And they're running out of resources. They're running out of other ships in the population. Humanity is essentially destroyed. And it's this one ship with a bunch of other smaller ships that it's like protecting.
A little fleet.
Yeah, but it's the only military vessel. And so it is protecting them, and it's got to get everybody moving as quickly as possible.
So everybody follows it around.
And there's no time for anyone to sleep. There's no time for, and it's just like they get fucking raggedy. And it's a lot of that shit goes on in it until it kind of does a Lost thing and gets really philosophical later.
It does, and that does take a weird turn.
Yeah, but it's not a bad turn. It's just not expected.
It's very strange.
But it's like, I honestly think that you would like it because there's some cool like politics and military shit in it. And
the board game is really fun. They
make some hard fucking decisions, and they will absolutely kill your favorite character. They will fuck up main characters like nobody's business. Yeah. It's great. So
I've cried many times in that series.
My favorite space sitcom or space opera, Firefly can do no wrong. The Expanse is on my list of something to check out. Stargate, the movie's great, never bothered with the shows. That's not true. I tried. They were terrible.
I watched some of Stargate. That was one of my dad's favorites.
They were just super low budget. I just saw through the rubber costumes on them too much.
It was hard to watch, yeah.
I liked the little bit of Farscape that I saw. Red Dwarf isn't on this list, and I quite enjoyed Red Dwarf.
Oh, I remember watching Red Dwarf.
Yeah. I used to be a Star Wars guy, but I'm not anymore. Probably Star Trek is my favorite. I haven't given Orville a chance. BSG is great. Babylon 5 is another one I could never get into.
I know you well enough. Don't watch the Orville.
No?
No.
Too many fart and dick jokes and my...
It's not what you want out of what it is.
Sure. But everybody says if you liked Lower Decks, you'll get along fine with the Orville. I love Lower Decks. Is that wrong? I trust your opinion more than the people on the internet.
It's Seth MacFarlane in space doing Star Trek.
Yeah. All
Sorry.
Right.
It's Seth MacFarlane in space doing Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, yeah, I don't give a fuck then.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. What's your favorite?
DS9.
Yeah, like Star Trek is...
That's an easy one. DS9.
Although I gotta say, Strange New Worlds is climbing up. Like, it's getting to my second or third.
I didn't hate any of the Discovery or the offshoots of it.
Yeah.
It was all pretty good, yeah.
Amazing. Next question. Zan asks, if you could sprint to existence a house from a Studio Ghibli movie, what will be your choice? So here's the thing. My favorite Ghibli movie is probably going to be Mononoke. And I would live in that town in a house because it is definitely a matriarch, which is great. Mm-hmm. However, Howl's Moving Castle. How do you not just snap call Howl's Moving Castle unless you want to live in a small town with Kiki or in a plane with Porco Rosso? Like, what else is there?
Well, you could have a neighbor Totoro. I did that on purpose. It's okay. Don't kill me.
You can live on the bus cat with a neighbor Totoro.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away are the only ones I've ever seen. Yeah. And not because I dislike it, but there's just always another movie to watch first.
Yeah.
And I'm very rarely in the mood for anime at all. It's just not my jam.
They're beautiful movies, though.
They're phenomenal. I'm nothing against it. But, like, I can't make a comment. I just can't comment. Which one should I watch next? Megan, you've seen them all. Which one is the one I should watch?
Howl's Moving Castle.
All right.
You get a lot of inspiration from that one.
Okay.
It's a sad love story. Just keep that in mind.
I do like sad love stories.
Yeah, it's like Castlevania meets sad love story.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Castlevania is a sad love story. Never mind.
It's like Nosferatu meets a sad love story? No, wait, that was a sad love story too. In a very different way.
Anyways, Howl's Moving Castle. You get a lot of inspiration from that one.
All right. Dave?
I think Howl's Moving Castle is the only one I saw, but I saw it like 20 years ago, and there wasn't a lot of movie watching going on.
Mm.
So,
good for you.
Yeah.
Happy date night?
Yeah, it was the last one, yeah.
The last date ever?
Yeah.
Love and hate that for you.
Now it's just money's on the headboard, get out.
You know what? If it works, it works. Next question. Tarzan of the Desert asks, who is your favorite hero from TV, movies, novels, comics, or any other genre that I may have missed? My favorite hero? That's objective.
Like, I mean, clearly it's your favorite. Like, what is it? Who is it? Who's the guy? Or the gal? I
don't like heroes. And if I like heroes, it's because they're not heroes anymore. I'm a villain fan. I'm a villain girly. So, like, I don't know.
Do you have an anti-hero?
I mean, I just want to go back to Dragon Ball Z and I'll say that Vegeta's my hero. Always will be.
All right.
But only because they finally did a season where Goku was pegged as a...
I'm surprised there are more words after that part of the sentence.
as a villain. And,
We watched a very different...
Yeah.
That's not technically anime
Sorry,
anymore.
yeah. But he was actually like almost labeled as a villain in terms of who he is as a person. And I thought that was really good and really cool and a really good twist. But Vegeta will stay strong. He's my hero. He is a woman's guy. Loves this lady.
This is such a fucking bullshit answer. And I'm on record on the podcast as saying this in the past, but allow me a second to defend myself. I really fucking like Batman. But I like Batman when he's done right and not the way that his persona is in pop culture these days, where he's dark and brooding or relying on tech or a hypocrite or like everybody gets into that. I like it when he's a fucking detective. When he's a dude that is against all odds, just the best at the shit that he does, and he's figuring stuff out. He puts it all together and he wins. I like him when he's modern Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great kicking ass, but he's so much more.
Yeah. And I don't need Ben Affleck with machine guns. I really liked Robert Pattinson, but it was a little too brooding. Like, I don't need all of that. I just want him being a badass detective and like earning his spot as one of the best superheroes of all time, because he is just the perfect peak individual that has all of the resources, all of the capabilities, all of the talent, and all of the intelligence to be able to get shit done.
Yeah. Roman made me watch Batman Beyond, like the cartoon one. I liked that. That was really cool.
Yeah.
It was a neat spin.
I really liked it. Did you watch the movie, Return of the Joker?
No, I don't know. We did. Did we? I think we did.
That one.
Why'd you look at me?
I looked at me like he knows what's happening.
Yeah, you did. I was watching the footage, yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, I don't think we did, no.
That one fucked me up. I had some trouble with that one, but like in a good way. Like I really enjoyed it. But
OG Optimus Prime, easy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Like before the cartoon movie, right? Like we're talking season like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, is there any...
season 1, 2. I think 3, 4, he had already done Rodimus Prime and come back or something.
Your lore goes way deeper than mine does on Transformers.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, is there anybody else? Any other heroes out there? I'm a big fan of Buffy.
Look, I'm a big fan of a lot of them. Well, you look around the room, I'm going to find 10 that I like, because there's also so much like stuff all over
here.
Yeah. Right? But, Optimus Prime, like, he's just...
Yeah. Okay, here's my deep cut. Roland from the Dark Tower series.
Good one.
Fucking love him. Yeah. Like, he goes through such a damn journey, and I love all of the weird shit in the last 2 books that people hate. I thought was so unique and original and interesting, and I don't find it cheesy at all. I think it was done honestly, and I really like it, and he goes through such a transformation. And I love that they take a guy whose job it is to shoot guns, and at the beginning of book 2, cut off his fucking fingers. Like, that is just a great fucking arc for a character to go down. I don't know. I really like Roland from the Dark Tower series. I guess we're rolling for...
We are. We roll again.
All right, Megan, roll high again. This was good.
I rolled a 3.
All right, I got an 11. I'm going first.
10.
Zan. Most of this is from the Patreon Discord. Zan says, after more than a year after release of ChatGPT/LLM models, have such tools become part of your game preparation or everyday life, or are they forgotten? He says, I completely forget to use them. I looked at using ChatGPT to do a bunch of D&D prep, and I got about, like, to get pictures of NPCs and towns and stuff like that. So I could never find what I wanted on Pinterest or anything else. Yeah. And I got about 4 or 5 images in and went, this feels really fucking dirty, and I'm spending a lot of time on my prompts that I could just write it out and do theater of the mind as easily as me trying to describe it for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I don't like how they're abusing artists and stuff. It felt really dirty, and so I haven't touched it in years. Yeah. When it first rolled out, I went, what can this do? And then afterwards I went, nah, it's not for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, but I will save you from my anti-AI rant.
Yeah, I'm with you. I am a little conspiracy cookie about AI shit.
I think we as everyone are worse off for having it. It may be beneficial for some.
For corporations.
I was about to say, when it comes to art and D&D prep, no, I do not use ChatGPT and or any of those kinds of things. However, at work, I will always use our ChatGPT to figure out why my queries aren't working.
Okay, and that's a really good point, because what Mieka does for work is essentially use, she has entire manuals of stuff to go through because she's a learning designer, right?
Yeah.
And so there's no way that she's going to go in and deal with all the like specific formatting for this, or how is this wording, like...
Does this sound good? Is this professional?
Yeah, so she uses AI for a lot of that shit as well, right?
I used it to write my performance review. Like, I use it at work.
Did it go completely off the rails, like a Mad Libs? It's like, we really enjoyed that you were present at all of our Ninja Academy training. So, no, I'm not an AI guy. I don't support it, especially for anything even remotely artistic. I want you to know that I discovered that there is an AI program that if you feed enough hours of someone's voice and give it a script, it will just reproduce that script in their voice, and it's about 98% perfect. Yeah. Right? Like, if you know the person really well, you'll hear where they say that word differently, but it's pretty fucking good. Yeah. And I realize that I have enough of a sample size for everyone on the podcast.
You don't even need us
that anymore. I don't need you guys anymore. I'm just going to write what you're going to say.
You fucker.
And then I went, this is really dangerous and creepy. I may do this once to fuck with someone and then dank with the podcast, so I don't see the purpose anymore.
Let's do an April Fool's episode one
of
day.
Just Dan reading shit that... Yeah. Like, oh, we should write bondage furniture commercials and put it in there. Yeah.
This is what AI should be used
for bondage furniture commercials. Yeah, excellent.
So good.
Tarzan of the Desert said, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck had Polearm Master?
Oh. That took a turn.
Polearm Master, yes, okay. You win. That was funny. That took a turn. Polearm Master is a powerful feat, or at least it was in 5th edition. I haven't looked at it in 5.5. But I'm assuming lots.
Well, I mean, that's actually one of the things is you can fight forever in D&D and never become exhausted. So realistically, forever.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
infinite amount of there is the
right. Like as long as he is swinging that pole arm at a tree, right, and doing damage, like he doesn't become exhausted.
I always assumed that how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood was about the frequency of how much wood it could, like, because how much, right? I never thought it was a total. I always thought it was a frequency. Like, how quickly could you chuck that wood? I'm putting too much thought into it already. Megan?
But, like, at the end of the day, it asks at the end if it could cut wood.
Yeah.
So, like, or if it had. If. So that's, like, we will never actually know the answer because it technically can't.
But with the power of AI.
But because if I type this into AI, do you think it would give us an answer?
I think so, yeah. I bet you can put this into ChatGPT. Someone do this and let us know in the comments.
There you go.
Zan says, how did you build your collection of D&D miniatures as a DM? And how do you approach and plan that? For the longest time, I was buying random packs. If I wanted a big monster, I would hunt that down and get that specifically, but I did a bunch of random packs. When I started doing it, they were $17.99 for a pack of 4, and you get 1 large creature in it. Sometimes you might get 5 in it if it was, they didn't have a large creature in it. And it was kind of like, $3-4 a mini. At this point, it's $33.99 for 4, and it's not fucking worth it anymore. I love the pre-painted ones, and I would love to get them as presents for my birthday and Christmas and shit, because I'll never spend money on it anymore. I just won't. I'll still buy the big ones, dragons and shit. Yeah, every once in a while it's time to pick up a massive one. We just dropped the Jabberwock on the table. That felt really good. Mm-hmm. I bought a lot of the unpainted minis because Casey was sitting there going, I'd love to paint. I'm like, okay, I'll buy a bunch of the unpainted ones that I know we're going to run into at some point in our campaign, and we'll just get back to it whenever we get back to it. And then life happened, and she is far slower at returning them. But the quality is better than ever. Yeah. Right? I love that she's taking her time with it, but at this point, I go digging through the minis that I have, or I look for bulk buys online to see if there's some bulk buy on like
someone
eBay or something. Yeah, right. And it's not. It's people that are buying it, and then based on the rarity of the random pulls, it's this much for this or that much for that. It never seems worth it. I now know enough people that have 3D printers, and they're like, yeah, just get me a list. Oh, this has opened up a can of worms. Yeah. So I have a list that I've yet to give Sean. I said, you tell me when too much is too much. He said, well, you make a request. It'll be fine. I got about 7 pages of request. So it's lots. You can never have enough kobolds.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
It's 7 pages of kobolds.
Yeah. So I do try to plan ahead for my big bosses, and I will go hunting for specific minis. But no, for the most part, I have stopped buying them because they're just not. It's cost prohibitive.
Yeah, when I was DMing, because I haven't in a while now, we would have our map up on the wall, and I would just use paper squares with sticky tack, and those were my minis. So that's how I prepped those and how I got those. I cut them out to the various sizes.
That's so OG.
And I would write A on one, and then B on another, and those are the captains. Those were letters. The fodder, those were numbers.
Fair enough.
Okay, but.
I just borrow from other people. I don't collect minis in any way, shape, or form.
It was like pulling fucking teeth to get you to actually pull your Hero Forge mini into existence.
I know. And here's the thing. I love a good mini, but like even like you have your little case that has all like the Hall of Fame.
It's our Hall of Fame,
basically.
yeah.
I have the same thing. So every campaign that I've played in for extended period of time, I do have a miniature that goes with that character. So I have my own little, but there's only like 5 of them. Because these are the campaigns that would have had a mini that I used for like 2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Are the ones that I have kept. And so I do have those ones, and they're special. Other than that, I'm not really a small trinket collector. So unless it's, the souls of other people. But
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I will say we have a chat in our Patreon Discord, which is devoted to art and minis and terrain and stuff that people do. It has essentially turned into advice for people with 3D printers. Mm-hmm. And it goes back and forth between the same like 6 or 7 guys, which is great, right? That they're using the chat to connect over this. But they're posting the shit that they have printed out or that they've painted, and then just like, do you use this nozzle? What kind of are you using filament? What's the best one? How did you get that level of detail? What are your resources for the STL prints? Like all that shit, right? So like I think that probably a 3D printer is on my future.
I would think if you're serious about minis, you should just make your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
I told Mieka that I need about $4,000 to sink into a 3D printer and paints.
Yeah.
King of Rot says, as someone who wants to homebrew their own planes of existence and finds most of the outer planes in the Forgotten Realms underdeveloped or uninspired, looking at you, Hades, which themes and tropes should my D&D cosmology include when making entirely new planes of existence?
Whoa.
Keep it simple, Adam.
Yeah, well I did an 11-part...
This could have been an episode.
This is what I'm saying. Keep it simple.
I did an 11-part series on my homebrew pantheon, which got into the ideals and mechanics. The thing is, you have to pick a theme. It has to be a broad theme. Whether it's elementalism or emotions or whatever it is. You pick a broad theme, and then you identify, even if it's like the color wheel, you pick 6 or 8 or 12, whatever colors on it. And each one represents a thing, and you stick to that. The moment that you start to have, the plane of justice and the plane of dreams and the plane, it gets too fucking unwieldy. There'll be things that don't fit somewhere, or things you put somewhere that could be in something else. Pick a well-defined wheel or a well-defined list and say, it's going to be based on this. This is why I really like the outer planes in the Great Wheel cosmology. Because that's simple. You have the alignments. Lines it all up and it's fine. And that's, if you want to get into more details from there, they have levels. The reason that it's underdeveloped is because Wizards of the Coast does not think we need that shit. But it is not underdeveloped. Go back to the 3.5 material. Go back to the 2nd edition material. The information is there. You want to do a deep dive into that? It's there, and I think it's online through DM's Guild or Drive-Thru RPG. Like, you'll find that shit out there. So just find a Planescape campaign setting book, and there'll be info in there as well.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'd add to that is if you're gonna, be making your own, go with opposites, right? Because it's really easy, light and dark,
sure,
left and right, chicken or fish. Like it's just opposites, right?
What do you do with tuna, which are the chicken of the sea?
See, that's a plot hook right there. Is because it's out of balance. You got to figure it out. Where does they fit
between the planes
in the grand order of things?
And then when you have to go catch your tuna, you use the literal plot hook to do it.
Yeah, in the astral sea. Like, it's right there, guys.
It's writing itself.
Yeah.
Here we go. I don't know. Take inspiration from other tropes and stuff in the world, such as, like, recently I built a world that was based on the tarot cards. Each area had a different thing based on the type of tarot card or the part of the arcana that was there.
Yeah.
And infuse the world with that kind of magic. Use the zodiac. Everybody uses that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just pick, like, and the nice thing about using something that's recognizable is that someone catches onto it, they're very intrigued by it, right? So to your point, pick a theme, but you don't have to invent your own theme. Just find one that you know a lot of knowledge about.
If you want 4 planes of existence, use the Harry Potter houses and just reskin them based on the like tenets of those houses.
Correct.
Right?
Tenets are a great thing to use.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Sweetaboo hits us with another fucking golden question. Would you rather fight a mimic-sized duck or 100 duck-sized mimics?
This is an easy one.
Yeah, mimic-sized duck. I can fucking kill a mimic-sized duck.
Yeah, I hunt ducks.
Yeah, like,
I could kick it.
Yeah, 100 duck. A mimic-sized duck is a Canadian goose.
Yeah.
I will get bruised and beaten in that.
Whoa, hold on. I want to back up then.
They will not fight a goose.
No, I think I could kill one Canadian goose.
Oh my God.
Only one. But 100 duck-sized mimics means that I cannot trust anything in my house because you're going to kill 98 of them and go, fuck, all right, which one is it? And you're just going to be running around trying to find it. And maybe you killed all 100 and you just did the math wrong, but you'll never know for certain. You're going to be paranoid for the rest of your life. Fuck that noise.
It's like when you hide 30 Easter eggs and you only find 28.
Yeah. Yeah. I found a Easter egg that was 5 years old the last time that I moved apartments.
Well, I used to work in EB Games way back in the day, and for my staff on Easter, I'd go in early and I'd hide like just little chocolate eggs around the store. We were finding them for years. Like,
yeah. I want to buy those little like pack of 100 rubber ducks and hide them among the apartment so that when Mieka moves in.
Did Pep's partner do that with the dragons?
Yeah, with little dragons. And I don't know if she's ever found all of them. Like, we haven't had an update in like weeks, but we should check in on that.
We should.
Dave?
The mimic-sized duck.
I think we're all in agreement here.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, then let's roll initiative again.
You stole my dice.
I'll do it again. 3.
19 again. Fuck.
Fucker.
Tarzan of the Desert says, waffles, pancakes, or French toast? Here's a hot take. I hate breakfast food.
Oh, that was going to be my hot take.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking nonsense. I would much rather have fucking leftovers for breakfast.
Yeah.
If I'm going to have, like, I don't mind breakfast proteins. Bacon, eggs, sausages. Yeah. That stuff's absolutely fine. I'm big on coffee, orange juice, sure. But breaded, like, I don't want a fucking pastry for singing. I don't
want, the waffle's like having a piece of cake. A pancake is like having a piece of cake.
It's right in the name, Megan.
It's just...
French toast like having a piece of France.
France.
And nobody wants that.
But here's the thing. If I'm going to do... I would just do a fucking crepe. Because, like, you can make those savory.
Yeah.
Like, so...
Yeah, honestly, my answer is, I don't know, probably a bagel that I can put my egg on and move the fuck on with my day. Right? Like, I'm not a... Dave, do you have an opinion?
Yeah, I got opinions on this. You're all fucking wrong. Right. Breakfast food is the only food. And the rest of you can fuck off.
Just because you wake up at like 4 p.m, so breakfast food is all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll wake up and have my breakfast burritos and my yogurts and my muffins and my breakfast foods, my bacons.
No.
And
sure,
eggs.
but none of that was waffles, pancakes, or French toast.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
All right. French toast, the last thing I want to do is have to like make an egg thing and then get the bread. I'm just going to make eggs and I'm going to make toast. I'm not going to put them together. I don't want to get into this like...
All right, so French toast is off the list.
Yeah, off the table. Okay. Pancakes are complicated because it depends if you're making them from scratch or out of a box, just add water. Both are good, but from scratch is just better, right? Yeah. They are also highly customizable. You want to throw a banana in there? Great. You want to throw some blueberries? You want chocolate? Throw some chocolate chips. Nothing wrong with that. Heck, you want to even throw some like cocoa and make it like a proper like chocolate batter?
Just
you can do
eat
that
a cake.
Too.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. Like, I'm going to have a cupcake for breakfast instead at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
are you going to make them though?
No.
Right, so if you don't have them and you want that, you make them in a pan.
I'm not going to make pancakes.
I feel like
it's a pancake.
I think it's the same amount of steps to make a cupcake as it is to make a pancake.
Yeah, also, by the way, waffles are bullshit. Nobody needs breakfast that requires a particular appliance to use. Okay, like, fuck off.
I'm
right?
sorry.
Bagel can suck my junk. Like,
I'm sorry, did you just say nobody needs a toaster? Is that because that's kind of what you just said?
But you can put anything in a toaster.
Yeah, no.
You can put waffles in a toaster.
Okay.
Again, I said Eggo can fuck off, right? Like,
we don't like Eggo.
No, frozen is no bueno.
We're talking about like the waffle maker.
I don't think I've had an actual waffle in.
Oh, well, this is why you don't like waffles.
In like 15 years.
Oh,
we're gonna have to have a breakfast buffet.
Yeah, the Belgians are pissed at you right now.
Oh no! I guess I'll have to walk through Luxembourg.
Because agree that we would not like any of 3 of the breakfast items that were like suggested.
True.
Of them, waffles are the best.
No.
But, yeah. Well, a properly done waffle?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'd say a good stack of flapjacks.
If I had one, I would do the crepe, which is the thinner pancake.
Pancakes just make you fucking bloated. There's nothing. They just fill you up with nothing.
It's
and you're
the
hungry
same
later.
ingredients.
No, make better pancakes. You can have like a nice pancake breakfast with like strawberries and whatever else.
I go to IHOP and get the fucking omelet. I do not. And when they say, "Oh, you want some buttermilk pancakes on Sunday?" I'm like, "Fuck no, more sausage."
Why? I go like I sit at home and I make an omelet. When I go out, I want something that I don't have at home.
Sorry, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. Waffles and pancakes are made from the same ingredients. They're just cooked differently.
Yeah.
They're both dumb.
The waffles can be crispier than pancakes are, and I'd rather have the crispy.
Tomatoes are disgusting. Ketchup is wonderful. Okay, right? Made from the same thing.
I agree.
Yeah, right.
Love me some ketchup.
Right.
F off tomato.
Yeah, right.
But-
Fuck off waffles. Pancakes great. Do not put ketchup on pancakes.
Is ketchup a smoothie?
Probably.
Because tomatoes are fruit?
Yeah. Oh, vinegar smoothie.
Sweetaboo asks, what's your favorite food associated with the holiday?
Oh.
Roast turkey, pumpkin pie, candy canes, Easter chocolate, eggnog, etc., etc. Coffee with Baileys is Christmas to me. Does that count?
That counts. I say that counts. That's breakfast.
Right. Yeah.
Booze is food.
Booze is food.
I am on record as saying that I absolutely fucking hate pumpkin spice lattes, but because they're for no reason sectioned off from the rest of the year, you can only get them in the fall. That's fucking nonsense to me.
I agree.
Especially because the syrup goes in the cupboard. Just pull that fucking syrup out again and you're done, right? Like,
Correct.
It's fucking nonsense. That being said, pumpkin spice is fucking delicious. That's great. Like, why do we not get that all year? I would get that all the time.
Marketing, babe.
Exactly. And that is my fucking anti-capitalist rant, which we don't need to get into for the 80th time on this podcast. But yeah, I don't know. Probably a... So let's see. Easter chocolate is just eating fucking chalk. It is just gritty nonsense.
Yeah, Easter chocolate's low quality chocolate nowadays too.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna get
Mass
chocolate
produced.
that's like Lindt or Lindor or something like that, but that's not Easter chocolate. That's them just having high quality
That's
chocolate.
year-round chocolate.
Yeah. All right. So
Utility chocolate.
Utility chocolate.
Yeah.
You know what's a good chocolate that's seasonal is, I don't know if anyone... I know of so many people that hate mint chocolate. But
I love mint chocolate.
After 8 mints at Christmas.
Yes.
Fuck,
Yeah.
yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and I'm gonna say I love Mexican food and I'm gonna tie that to Cinco de Mayo and that's
you
my
go.
answer.
Correct. That's great. I like that about you.
Okay.
For me, mine's not necessarily traditional, but I only get homemade pierogies once a year on Christmas Eve. So, as a classic Ukrainian-German family, pierogies are hard to make, and they're annoying to make. So we only ever make them on Christmas Eve. And we go the whole
When
9
everyone
hours.
wants to be annoyed for a day.
Correct. But we make them, and like, it's become a tradition to the point where, like, when COVID happened and we couldn't have Christmas together that first year, my mom actually did like a master class over Zoom and walked us
that's
through
fun.
all making. So we all had pierogies to eat at Christmas Eve at home on our own, because we couldn't be together for it. So I would say Christmas is to this day my favorite holiday. Always will be for a lot of reasons. But one of the big things is like I do like the food around Christmas because we don't eat the traditional shit. We eat what our family is.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I changed my answer. Because I don't get to eat the traditional shit. Whatever Mieka's mom makes for Thanksgiving.
Whatever the fuck that is.
What,
yeah.
like, we don't have time for me to list the dishes. She does like 25 fucking dishes. And they're all so rich and flavorful, and they're fucking great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of sweets to begin with, but sometimes, like, the holidays bring out the best in sweet. I love meat gingerbread.
Love me a gingerbread.
Right? That being said, my mom makes a thing on Christmas Eve normally. It's like a salmon loaf kind of thing. It's got like a mushroom sauce on top. It's really
Nice.
good. I like that. But yeah, gingerbread's probably my mainstream choice.
That's
I
awesome.
didn't know that. That's wild.
Our family, some of my family does come from the States because my mom's sister married into the U.S.
Who fucking does that?
I don't know. So when I was a kid growing up, we would do American holidays.
Mhm.
And ambrosia salad, whoever the fuck made that, die in a fire. One, not a salad.
Yeah, no, it's whatever you can find and then throw in mayo.
Mayo and marshmallows.
I was going to say, that's all
and
marshmallows,
sugar
right?
And whipped cream.
Oh, it's one of those
And-
Midwest salads.
Oh.
Peps, what was the mentality? You are going to be our fucking resident expert
Yeah.
on this shit.
Ew.
Well, all we had was beef tallow and sardines.
Tarzan of the Desert asks, You've got 3 pounds of ground beef, so what's for dinner? Well, 2 pounds of ground beef and a little left over for tomorrow.
Like, do I have anything else in the fridge?
Yeah,
What are
right.
my options?
If I have just ground beef, I'm either doing taco night, and I don't do white people taco night anymore. Thank you, Mieka. So I do real tacos, or probably red sauce pasta.
Yeah, we're a classic red sauce pasta family. But if it was me at home by myself, my favorite thing to make right now, my current obsession, is cabbage roll, like
Oh, nice.
like casserole.
Nice.
So it's basically you just do your ground beef and then you toss in like a bag of like cabbage and onion and so on and so forth, and just like steam that for a bit and then just top it with some hoisin sauce and you're good to go. So delish.
I mean, it depends on a lot of stuff. Probably I'm having a burger for the next 3 or 4 nights.
Yeah, right. That's one big ass burger.
Yeah.
Right?
One singular 3-pound burger.
Sweetaboo says, are you more of a blue grouse or a spruce grouse kind of guy, Dave?
Like, that's very specific to you because I have no idea what the difference is.
Spruce.
Why?
The flavor. You can taste the spruce. I'm not even joking.
Like, you can taste the tree?
Yeah. It's got a little bit of a piney texture, not texture, flavor to it. I don't know. Blue grouse tend to live more up. Okay, so in BC, we got like the coastal mountains and stuff, right? And then you get a little further north, there's like the flat area.
Yeah.
Right? The blue grouse live in a flat area, all right? It's not very alpine-y, whereas the other grouse, there's actually more kinds. There's ruffed grouse. Ruffed grouse are the kind I get the most. Honestly, most of the time, we just take butter chicken sauce hunting and do it with that. So we just do butter ditch chicken. And it's wonderful. It's great. Minute rice, you're done. Call it a day.
Interesting.
But you go up into some of like these higher alpine places where you find the spruce grouse, the meat's going to be a little bit more red as opposed to other grouse.
I thought we were talking about trees.
No, grouse is a bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you eating trees?
The grouse will like sit at the bottom of trees and
Yeah.
eat the needles and like take on the flavor of them, right?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's like hickory smoked without the smoked.
I want to be really clear. I have been out camping with Dave enough. I have been there when he's brought home the meat from his hunting trips and whatnot.
Yeah.
There is nobody that can actually cook like grouse and meat. Like, Dave, you do a fucking amazing job cooking that shit.
Yeah.
I know that
just
I'm
chicken.
going to fucking eat well, but even like your camping cooking skills are amazing. So like when you say all this shit, I'm taking your word for it. But I'm like, yeah, I'll eat that. If you're gonna make it, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it's really subtle. It's like if you go somewhere where black bears are eating lots of blueberries, their fat will take on like almost a blue tinge and a blueberry flavor. One of the things people will do is they'll hunt these areas where there's lots of these alpine blueberry patches, and they'll actually render the fat down into cooking oil and have this like blueberry flavored oil. And it's delicious.
I love meats. I don't like knowing how it is produced.
Don't know how the sausage is made?
No.
All right, swapping gears. Alan Brewbeard says, what baddie in D&D lore that can be setting neutral that has not been featured in 5th edition adventure would you like to see in a future published campaign adventure? Yinogu. Yeah, Yinogu, I think. I would like to fight the Beast of Butchery. I think that'd be badass and metal as hell.
Fair enough. Sorry, when you read the word baddie, I just kept thinking Shodi was a baddie, so I'm just trying to think of all like the weird...
Oh yeah, no. Baddie, but from the millennial definition, not from the Gen Z definition.
Oh, man.
You're on TikTok too much.
I am. I'm trying to be hip, but I'm trying to be young.
How's it working for you?
It's not working very well, apparently. I don't even know the difference
I
between a bird and a
used to
tree.
be with it. Now I don't know what it is.
That's me on AI.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because, like...
Your answer would have been Cass up until very recently.
Correct, because then they did that.
Yeah.
And then my next one would be, like, Raven Queen, bring her back. But
Yeah.
like, she was, like, but she was used a lot.
She wasn't the main feature, though.
No, so I would do Raven Queen. Because, yeah, she's a baddie.
Yeah. In both cases.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The only other one off the top of my head that I'd be curious, like, Asmodeus should do stuff, but I like him better as just kind of like a shadow figure in the background. Something like Zaztam.
Yeah, he showed up in the movie though, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't in a 5th ed adventure.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, it'd be nice to kind of tie it all together. Did they not do a adventure for the movie?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it seems like a missed opportunity.
Correct.
What they did was they released a couple of PDFs on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, of the characters.
One for all the characters and then one for a bunch of items that were in the movie. And that was it. Like that helmet that he couldn't attune to.
Yeah.
You can actually get that, which is fun.
Nice.
Let's roll initiative again.
Okay.
I'll let you take the dice.
Taking my dice back.
Oh,
Get it in the...
tray.
I can't see it. 12.
I rolled 19.
Yay.
All right.
Lash with a 12.
I heard lash with the... I'm having a problem with my hearing today.
What?
What? All right. Sweetaboos asks, for those in search of safe and legal thrills, what's your favorite body of water to throw a car battery into? My bathtub? Is that,
All right, calm down.
too dark?
No, that's a toaster. Come on.
Jesus.
Live, laugh, toaster bath.
Oh my god. I don't even know how to answer that question. What the fuck? Am I missing a reference here to something?
I have no idea. This is just like it came out of the fucking blue into the mailbag Discord.
Yeah, live, laugh, toaster bath. That's what I'm gonna go with.
I'm gonna go with whatever small man-made lake is full of recently stocked fish.
Okay. Survival tactic.
Yeah.
So I've only lost a car battery in one lake.
Of course you have.
That's impressive for you, actually.
So I'm going with Bunsen.
Like specifically the lake.
Yeah.
This body of water.
Explain how.
The boat was
okay.
deflating.
Oh, god.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were just throwing them into lakes. And
No, it was a
diving
boating
for them.
accident. No,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
no.
Amazing. All right. Tarzan of the Desert asks, when changing toilet paper, are you toilet paper roll beard, which is dropping in the front, or a toilet paper mullet, which is dropping by the wall person? First of all, I have never heard it referenced like that before.
No, that's brand new. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either over the top or behind.
I think they're onto something, though.
Beard or mullet feels really accurate. Though.
I am here for it, and
Yeah.
it's beard for me. And anyone who says differently is very incorrect.
Hold on. I go next, so I'll cover this. I know what Dave's going to say. I'm pretty sure I know what Dave's going to say. You're correct, and I'm the same way. Beard is the right answer, unless you want a cat.
Yeah.
Because a lot of cats will then spin it
Oh.
and just completely pull
My
all
cat
the
was
toilet
wonderful and never did shit like that.
The other reason you might want to put it mullet is if Dan's coming over, because it frustrates the hell out of him.
Oh,
He hates it.
yeah, he has ranted in the past.
Hates it.
Okay.
So if you want to troll him, just give it a little flip.
If I ever go to his house, I'm going to change all his toilet paper rolls to the others to be.
I want
or just take them all.
I want you guys to know. So when I was in Maryland for like 11 weeks back in the fall, the last thing that I did when I left Mieka's house was take the artwork in her bathroom and flip it upside down. But it was above the toilet, and of course she's living with her sister, so they don't face it, right? So like they never think about it. It took them 3.5 months to figure it out. So I was just there again in February, and I swapped it between the two different bathrooms, and they still haven't figured it out yet. It's been over a month. So I'm really enjoying this, like, fucking around with people's bathrooms.
Worst.
Yeah, that's okay. I used to, for Sean, every time that he moved into a new place, I would plug in the microwave, but I'd do it upside down. And so he would open it up and get so frustrated. Because it always had like a little slot to go in, right? And it would sit there. So I'd install the microwave upside down. And he would send me a text message at 2 a.m, like 3 days later, every time, just fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, God, it feels good.
Just wanted to use my goddamn microwave.
And you still haven't figured out what I did in your place at Elwyn's birthday party.
What are you?
It's okay. Keep moving on.
Don't trust him. The other week, I was sitting here recording with Shut up! No, I was sitting here recording with Sean and Adam, and they were going back and forth about these earplugs, which that's another story. We don't need to get into it. But they had both claimed to plant it in the other one's house. Motherfuckers, it's at my house, okay?
A bunch of liars.
Don't trust anything he says.
I trust nothing.
Yes. Don't look for anything that I've done in your apartment. It's fine.
How dare you? Anyways, Nick, moving on then. Sweetaboo asks, today's reference to Dan being old mimic yeller got me wondering, what's your favorite movie where the dog dies in the end? First of all, I have not heard that reference.
Oh, in Dan's last episode, because we did all of the
yeah.
retrospect back on 5th edition, and Dan announced that he was quitting. So on Dan's last episode, I told him I was going to take him under the back and put him down.
Oh.
So that's the
old
reference.
Mimic yeller.
Yeah.
That's cute. In terms of the question, I would say all dogs go to heaven.
That's the right answer.
Like, it was such a great film, eh?
Do they, though?
And so sad.
There's some asshole dogs.
Well, I mean...
Like, the name of the movie's a bit of a misnomer, right?
Like...
Don't ruin this for me, Dave.
I'm really, I don't want to give an answer because what if someone doesn't know it's coming and I'm going to take that shock from
Oh,
them?
no, there's a simple, easy answer here that you're all forgetting.
I Am Legend.
No, John Wick. It happens right at the beginning. You can't spoil it, and you get like a franchise worth of meat out of it.
But it says specifically...
But does it taste like spruce, that meat?
No.
It
A
could.
tree?
It depends.
What tree is that?
No. I Am Legend was probably my favorite, like, plot point dog died, where the movie's not about the dog, like Old Yeller or Marley and Me or something.
Yeah.
Should have been Homeward Bound. Shadow never should have gotten out of that pit.
Shadow should have never lived. That old goat.
The director's cut had a very different ending.
There were too many tears at the...
Yeah.
This is the first screening.
They sat down and said, all dogs will die eventually, and so will your parents.
This is the life lessons we needed in the 90s.
Yeah. When no child's movie could be dark enough. The last really dark child movie was Bridge to Terabithia.
Oh my God.
Right? Like,
We read that book, I think in grade 7, as like our novel study book.
oh, I went in completely blind. Charlie had read it, and he had read it as a kid, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, they made a movie. He's like, I want to sit down and watch this. And like, we didn't see it in theaters or anything, but I had no idea. And I'm sitting there thinking, because I watched the trailer to see if it was appropriate, and the rating is appropriate, and it looks like Chronicles of Narnia. So let's sit down and nope, fucking blindsided.
It's the saddest thing on the planet. Very sad movie. Anyways. I feel like Adam's going through an existential crisis, so I'm going to move
Oh,
on.
I was about to say it's the second saddest movie on the planet. The saddest kids movie on the planet is A Monster Calls, which nobody has seen. It was a fucking gut punch.
No, I've never seen that. There was a comic though called How to Fight Giants. I don't know if you guys ever
Yeah,
read that.
yeah.
I remember reading that and like it was sad.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. Okay, moving on. Tarzan of the Desert asks, what is your favorite celestial body, as in planet, moon, star, or constellation? Well, I do witchy shit, so it's just all of the above. But if I had to choose, moon.
Because you're a werewolf.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. I think my favorite was Orion's Belt, just because it was the first constellation that I learned how to see, besides the Big and Little Dipper, right? So I just got to know Orion
Your first, like, burp, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but specifically, Orion's Belt would then unlock Orion for me. So I was always looking for those stars. So that's probably my answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that it was a plot point in Men in Black when I was like 14 just kind of
yeah.
drove that home for me too.
You're right,
So
you're right.
I think I'd probably go with the Big Dipper. Just
that was your nickname in college.
yeah, Ursa Major. Sorry.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to change your name from Coffee Bitch Dave to Papa Bear.
Papa. I'm good with it.
Papa Bear Dave.
You know, I like it when they call me Big Papa.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, the Big Dipper, because that's the one, when I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I can see 1,000 million stars, right?
Yeah, 1,000 million.
And the Big Dipper is the one that gives me my point of reference every time.
It points to the North Star.
Well, from there I can kind of, the North Star's a misnomer. It's the
I know.
brightest star in the sky. Yeah, sometimes, right? It's not always brightest star. Anyways, but it kind of gives me the context. From there I can find other things, right?
Yeah.
It's my,
Sure.
thing.
Yeah, your point of reference.
Yeah.
Bless you both. Sweetie Boo asks, what is the collective noun for the Tarrasque? I was going to call it a thump of
A
Tarrasque.
thump of Tarrasque.
Well, I mean, there's only one, right?
Yeah, I mean, but we do have a multiverse now in D&D.
Mm.
That right there is a fucking campaign idea.
I mean, they're a walking mountain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
a range of Tarrasques.
Mm.
I do call the Tarrasque the mountain that moves in my campaign, so I like that a lot.
Yeah, and then when they attack, you could arrange them in a particular way to benefit
Because
you.
mountain range.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I can't come up with anything better off the top of my head than that. A range of Tarrasques is good. Like, you're going to end up with like an Armageddon of Tarrasques or something,
yeah.
right? Like
Thump.
a thump of Tarrasques.
Thump of Tarrasques. It has to be something stupid. Like, it has to be. They're too scary. Anyways, that's it for me. Roll again.
All right.
What is...
Because I can. I took your dice because I
the
can.
chaos in this room today. 14.
11.
7.
All right. Now that we have finished with 2024... Sorry, this is from Zan. Now that we have finished with 2024 and they don't have disclaimer in Core Books 2024, what is your favorite? And you are... Oh, he's telling me I am sad.
No, he doesn't... English is a second language,
Yeah.
so we're doing our best.
Fair enough. And are you sad about this? My daughter doesn't want to play to this edition because of that. I didn't realize we didn't have disclaimers.
There's no more disclaimers in the 2024 books.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they got rid of it.
That's bullshit. That was like some of the neat little flavor that made it unique. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It feels weird that they would do that for all the books leading up to 2024 and then suddenly stop.
I think it was just an addition thing that, like, I don't know. There's no explanation for it except they probably didn't want to take up the room on that page.
Yeah, they needed more room for AI art, right?
Yeah. I mean, yes, I'm sad about it. I'm going last, but, like, yes, I'm sad about it.
No, I would say, like, I actually didn't even realize it. So it wasn't a deterrent for me to play the game, because I feel like the whole process of 2024 was to make it more accessible and less problematic. But I still feel like if that was the goal, you should probably still have a disclaimer of some kind. But they may have thought that may have been counterintuitive to the goal of the book as a whole.
Yeah, it was always supposed to be a little tongue-in-cheek Easter egg for people that they just don't bother doing anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me grab one.
The best, can you grab Tash's?
Right beside, yeah.
Because I remember loving Tash's and the bestiary from Spelljammer I remember liking for some reason.
You know, I got Tash, you want me to just read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole paragraph here, but... Disclaimer. Contained herein are the observations of the Archmage Tasha, later known as the Witch Queen and then Igwiliv. She is one of the great wizards in the history of the multiverse. We fear there is an incantation hidden within these notes, and have therefore bound this tome with powerful wards. If you are reading this, the first ward has already been broken. If you dare to read any further, we cannot guarantee the safety of your soul, or that you won't open a portal to another plane of existence.
Okay, hold on. So I understand that, like, these disclaimers for these books make sense.
Yeah.
But, like, this is, like, why would you do we have one in the Player's Handbook?
Yeah. Player's Handbook, the 2014 is the first one.
That's as hilarious as this one?
If a portal does appear, pray that nothing worse than Tasha's mother, Baba Yaga, appears. And if the mother of Hags arrives, be sure to offer only praises of her daughter, or offer muffins. She loves muffins.
I don't see a disclaimer.
It's the very first page.
It is right there. Tiny little print.
Oh my god, that is like what? I would have to get binoculars for that.
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast are not responsible for consequences of splitting up the party. Sticking appendages in the mouth of a leering green devil face. Accepting a dinner invitation from bugbears and storming the feast hall of a hill giant. Angering a dragon of a variety. Okay, so like, yeah.
Yeah, like they're cute. Yeah. The one for Eberron, because I know you need it, Dave, is published by the brilliant gnomes of House Civis. This illustrious volume exposes truths you won't believe about the last war. You might think that's enough to satisfy you, dear reader, but there's more. The book also contains dice-fueled rules for reenacting thrilling events of the world of Eberron, dice not included. Also, don't forget to recharge the book's magic with a dragon shard about once a week. If you don't, the book will turn back into a potato.
I like that one.
Like, they're all good. I remember liking Tasha's, but I think I remember liking Tasha's, like, quotes and quips all the way through it.
Yeah.
It was like reading her Twitter feed. It was pretty good.
No, when I first read that question, I thought we were talking about, like, sensitivity disclaimers, and I'm just like...
No.
Yeah. I was like, interesting. Okay. Anyways, do we miss them? Would you like it back?
Yes, I would.
Yeah. All right, well, next question. Scott asks, so It's a Mimic has officially paired giants and wines in a totally non-official manner. Pair other alcohols with other types of enemies. Ooh. All right, so giants, wine. Cray. Dragons.
Clearly banshees or screech.
Yeah. I was trying to think of which one would go with tequila. It wouldn't be dragons. Dragons are too sophisticated for tequila.
So this spurned an entire conversation that you guys missed in the Mailbag chat.
Oh, God. Okay.
So here, I'm just going to, instead of us scratching our brains for 20 minutes here, let me go through it.
Let's go through this, yeah.
Okay. Dwarven ales, Elvish gin, Gnomish ciders, Goblin mezcals. So that was pitched first.
Okay.
I said goblins drink tequila and you fucking know it.
There it is.
Sean said nah, mezcal in general. I doubt they'd hone in on tequila in specific. Hell, they'll drink trough water if it fucked them up enough.
Well, then why would they hone in on mezcal? Anyways,
yeah. Scott then came back with goblins drink malt liquor.
Just the 40s, yeah.
Yeah, Old English.
I went off in a rant. I'm tired of these dwarven ale comments. It's slander. Dwarves clearly drink stouts and halflings drink ales, despite everything would lead you to think otherwise. Satyrs drink honey mead, half-elves drink pilsners, and humans drink lagers. The only beer an elf...
half-elves.
Right? Yeah. The only beer an elf will touch is a berry sour, and orcs drink the fermented blood of their enemies.
I think elves would drink a nice blueberry radler.
That's very specific.
Elwyn says elves would be Saint Germain.
It's very specific.
I said gnomes have a drink called What's That? Which is just the closest drink that someone else isn't paying attention to.
100%. Trash can, sure.
Yeah. And then Sean, I think, won by saying goblins pioneered King's Cup.
Touche.
Yeah, right. So.
Fair enough. There it is. Well, you're welcome, audience, for that.
Yeah.
We're not implementing that in any future series. I'm going to say that right now.
Come join the Patreon and be privy to these wonderful conversations of deep philosophy and forbidden knowledges.
So good. All right. Well, next question. Alan Brewbeard, what are your thoughts or positions on using unofficial sites online that have Wizards of the Coast or other third-party publications for use in home games, personal use, 5th edition tools, 5th edition SRD, PDFs hosted on sites, etc., etc.?
The official position of the podcast is do not pirate.
Yeah.
Buy it on D&D Beyond if you want it cheap.
Yeah.
Go pitch in together with friends if you want a physical book. Mm-hmm. There are cheap ways to do it. You can figure it out, but piracy is bad. There, we got that shit out of the way.
Yeah, great.
So, yeah.
But for like third-party things other people have written, I think this is what they're going towards.
No. This is straight up piracy. They have taken the stat block.
Oh, third-party publications for use of... Yeah, okay, got you. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Just...
For legal reasons, no.
For legal reasons, no.
Now hoist up the John B. Sail.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cheap if you have a group of friends that just do D&D Beyond. That's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go. Moving on. Robert. Do you have any tips or recommendations for those classes and backgrounds that have inherent ties to an organization, but little in the way of published materials on how to handle that relationship? For example, a paladin or monk to their order, a wizard or bard to their college, a merchant or an artisan to their guild, etc. I just build it. I've played in many a campaign where I have just made shit up, and I'm pretty sure I've pissed Adam off multiple times just making up a god instead of...
Oh, no. You give me that shit and I go, all right, this will blow up in your face because you're making me read shit. So revenge is coming.
100%.
Yeah.
And then I just built a sorcerer in a campaign that had in a school of magic that was very specific that came with a crew. And I built the crew. I did skeletal bones. But
Skeletal, yeah.
Okay, thanks for correcting me on my word. It's my word.
Casey's word and you know it.
Anyways, and I just gave the bones and built it and then handed it to the DM and said, whatever you want to do with it from there, take it. I help the DM out as much as I can, especially if I have a very specific idea of what my character wants. And if they come back at me and say, no, choose something from the book that has more XYZ, I will choose something from the book. But as a person who writes a lot of weird characters that are very simple, I do like to write around them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just do that.
Dave?
This isn't really my style of game.
Yeah.
All right. So my answer is the answers already exist out there somewhere. If you want someone like a cleric or a paladin or even a druid because they're divine magic, then you can go to the Mystic Odysseys of Theros and see how they've built the gods and the organizations there.
Yeah.
If you want guild stuff, then you can go to Ravnica and see how they built shit there. If you want something that is a little less Magic the Gathering, there are all sorts of examples in D&D lore, like the Harpers and stuff. We know that they're in Waterdeep. There are a million different kinds of organizations in Waterdeep, and we only have tiny little paragraphs of it in 5th edition, but the wikis exist.
Yes.
So go find it there.
Go forth and conquer.
Yeah, if you need a cult, well, we actually have 7 different cults across all the adventures. That stuff is there for you to reskin. But how do you work it into your game? How do you focus on it? The question is not what you build, but why you build it.
Yeah.
What does your player want to get out of this? Why are they putting this time and effort into it? If they want that added to the game, then they're going to put the time and effort. If they don't want it, then they're not going to. Megan, you came to me with a whole prophecy of your character and the monastery you were in. Dave, I asked you what's your relationship with the Fae because you're playing a fairy, and you said, "Oh no, fuck those guys, I'm not interested." And that was the background.
Yes, you're right. However, it's a little bit deeper than that.
Sure, yeah, okay, I'm skimming over, but the point is, I get as involved as my player wants to be, and I let them make the choices, and I will pull them back and say that doesn't make sense, or do I have permission to change this? little bits and pieces. But I got other shit to do. I don't have time to get into 10,000 backstories for people.
Yeah, you can ask, like, if a player hands you a backstory with, like, I am a part of the XYZ order, and without any explanation, I'd be like, I'd respond with, explain to me what that order is to you.
Yeah. Well, I did that with the fucking circus.
Oh, it's so annoying. Just ask me what my initiative is. Let's get this fight going. Right?
Shut up, Dave.
Dan, Charlie, and Dave had characters that were all from the same circus.
Yeah.
And that was a pain in the absolute dick to deal with because they could not...
two of us.
Well, because you guys couldn't agree on what the circus was, if it was even evil.
It was a traveling circus.
That's as far as you got.
Clearly evil.
There were entire side chats of the three, mostly Dan and Charlie, just fighting about, no, that's not what I envisioned. No, that's not what I want. And that's because they're working at it from the same perspective. Like, they've all got the same amount of agency over it. And so it's a tug of war. But me as a DM, I can just say yes or no.
Yeah.
And move on. But I have a follow-up question for you, Megan.
What's up?
Because you gave me, here is my family, here is my monastery, here is my mentor, here is a prophecy, here's this entire situation, and this is my character, and my brother is this, my father is this, the love of my life is this was my mother. You went through the whole thing, and I took it and essentially shook it up and said, yeah, but you've been lied to. Ha!
You've been lied to your whole life.
Yeah. How did that feel? I'm legitimately like putting myself on the fucking witness stand at this point to be like, hey, come at me.
No, honestly, we've talked about it before. Like, I enjoy it a lot because I built her based off of a backstory from a character that somebody else built.
Yeah.
And so, and you added that character into the campaign. And so we talk about it all the time in terms of, like, how do I enjoy the fact that the characters are completely different? Like, my brother used to be a paladin, he's now a monk.
Yeah.
My father, I've always hated, I still hate him. I was supposed to kill him in one instance that we did, and I didn't. And you expected me to kill him, and I didn't. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I liked it being flipped on its head because it made it more interesting for me because it changed how I interacted with the world around me. In terms of, I had picked this very linear line, and you shook it up for me. So it forced me to be more creative.
The other thing, too, is I tried to understand why you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Like, there was the idea of being tied, because you're an Ascendant Dragon monk. You're being tied to a prophecy with the Green Dragon. You have to protect the Green Dragon. Fine, you're still tied to it. It turns out, though, that the Green Dragon is evil and has been lying to you and is training you in all of the wrong ways to go about things and has been using your family line as its phylactery because it's actually a Dracolich. And, like, it got real fucking dark, but you're still getting all the dragon flavor, all the martial arts flavor, all of the family drama.
Yeah,
but
she's
it's
still a
different
princessa
now.
in her own mind.
Yeah.
But it gives her her own little internalized trauma.
So understanding why the player wants the thing is the answer, right? So that's it. And then you just build the things they want. I could come up with a whole monastic order, but if you don't give a shit about the different ranks of the monks that have to do how many vows do you have to give of how many days of silence in order to level for? If you don't want to do any of that shit, I've wasted my time. Yeah. Right. So just the stuff you want to do, and then fill in the blanks around it.
Yeah, I do it all the time. So if you want more tips and tricks on how to build random shit to piss your DM off, you let me know. All right, last question. Sweetaboo asks, a time traveler just stepped through a portal in your living room. Oh, gassed. They say the only way you can prevent the robot uprising is to get the worst tramp stamp tattooed you can think of. What tramp stamp are you gonna get you to save your timeline? Oh my god. Live, laugh, love.
Ugh.
Yeah. I feel like that's the whitest girl thing I can do.
I would go specifically with this picture of Dan.
Just right above your crack.
Just that picture of Dan right above my asshole.
Yeah.
He will be in good company.
Can you send that to me so I can post it in the Discord when this episode drops? Just without context?
Yeah.
No.
Amazing. What about you, Adam?
I would try to find, I don't know. I would try to have the most genuine and sincere tramp stamp, because the worst ones are the ones that they fucking mean. So it would have, like, it'd be all flowers and stars for wings going out of it, and the center of it would be what I think means inspirational hope in Chinese, but actually means spatula.
Yeah, and then also has tribal stuff in the background.
Yeah. I need to appropriate a bunch of different cultures.
In one round.
Do spatulas not inspire you?
No.
I'm so inspired by a good spatula, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, let me flip right out.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, all right. Well, thanks for listening to another round of Mailbag questions on the It's a Mimic channel. If you'd like to ask us questions that we'll definitely answer no matter what, you can reach out to us through the Mailbag post in the subreddit or at r/It's a Mimic. Hit us up through Facebook or Instagram, send us messages through the website, or join our Patreon, which has a Discord channel dedicated to mailbag questions.
It's first come, first served, so get those answers in ASAP. We already have a handful of overflow questions for the next mailbag in 3 months.
Yeah, we did 25, not 20 this episode, because we have so many. And again, thanks for listening and supporting us at It's a Mimic, where you never know what you're going to get.
Woo.
But you probably won't get waffles.